Morning guys, how you doing? It's Sunday today, and yesterday I had a really big day, like making stuff and recording loads of podcasts. I had loads of podcast guests scheduled that I had interviews with. I've got another 2 today actually, but they're not until late afternoon. And I said on the last video that I made that it doesn't feel like I'm making much progress, because the progress kind of where I see that is outside. I don't see it when I'm in the house, and I spent most of yesterday in the house, still doing things, still productive, and I did get ahead because we made yogurt, we made sourdough, we made cheese, we did all sorts of things, made loads of crackers. But today I want to start making some progress outside, and thank you to Shannon Ward, who left a comment on my last video saying get on and weed your herb spiral, because I see it out the window every time I cook, and it's like a sign of a job that hasn't been done. So I'm going to make a list of all the things I want to get done today, and top of that list I'm going to put herb spiral. Now there's a few other things that are like discrete jobs where it's like one thing where I can just get it done and then it's done. The next one of those is the tree guards. If you remember, I built tree guards to protect our trees from the goats, and I built them with chicken wire. Never done them before for goats, not good enough. I need to replace that with stock fencing. So tree guards is the next thing on my list. I also need to get goat food. I also need to make ice cream. Now I also said on my last video that I'd never made ice cream before. That wasn't strictly true. I've made ice cream, but not with this machine. I've made ice cream in those little tiny machines. Now, if you can only afford one of those little ice cream machines, it's like they're like that big and they come with a paddle. Basically how they work is the outside, they work a bit like a thermos flask, but if you imagine the vacuum on the outside of a thermos flask, filling that with water, and then what you do is you put that in the freezer and it turns to ice, obviously, and it's just the temperature of that ice reducing the temperature of the milk as it churns. That's all they do. Now that's not to say that's not very good, you know, that's great. If that's all you can afford, they're definitely worth it, and you can make ice cream, but it's a real faff, and I found that I had to really be quite creative with how I was using the machine. I was actually putting the machine with the contents in the freezer to try and get that temperature down. I just couldn't reduce the temperature enough just using the ice. So I found them quite ineffective. That's why I bought a really nice ice cream maker. I bought it secondhand, so they're always available, because it's the sort of thing that a lot of people buy on a fad and they end up not using it and then selling it. So if you are going to buy a decent ice cream maker, which I do recommend, they're available secondhand. Obviously, it's much cheaper that way. Just a little tip for you there. eBay is your friend. So on my list so far, I've got herb spiral, tree guards, goat food, and ice cream. I've also got 2 podcasts to record, and I've also got the goats to milk. And I think that might be it. Now, it doesn't sound like a very long list, but I know for a fact, oh, it's not it at all. I also, what I'm going to do, as soon as I'm going to do my herb spiral first, and then I'm going to go out and plant out. I've got some plants that are pretty desperate to get out, actually. They've outgrown the little containers that they're in as seedlings, and they need to get in the garden. So we're going to do the herb spiral first, then we're going to go and do some planting out, and then if we get time, we'll get some sowing done as well. So let's see how we get on.
The weather's really autumnal. It doesn't feel like spring or summer, it feels like autumn. We've got really high winds all the time. We've got some gales coming in this afternoon, and I think this morning is really the key opportunity for me to get some stuff done outside. And this is looking quite sorry for itself down here, bless it. It's doing all it can and it needs some help, so we're going to get round and weed this now. Now, we built this in the middle of a lawn, so it means that we basically just mow round it and we don't manage to get very close. So that's where most of the weeds are growing, but it's not going to take me too long, I don't think, to get this looking much, much better. Feel better already, so that's at least one small win. Doesn't that look much tidier? And oh, it's going to look so much better when I'm just the other side of that window cooking. That's going to look so much better. You might have noticed I ripped out quite a lot of mint, because the mint is supposed to be in a pot to contain it, and it's obviously escaped, and it will very quickly overtake that whole spiral if we're not careful. Got this down here to deal with. I'm going to go and give that to the goats, and hopefully I'll bump into my wife somewhere out there and we can coordinate our plans, because my wife's used that ice cream maker with great success last year and she's going to train me out. I've cut my nose, not sure how. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to get this off to the goats next. Next up, I'm going to deal with these tree guards. It's not really a very fun job, not excited about doing it because I've already done it once. You don't mind doing it the first time because you're achieving something new, whereas now all I'm doing is achieving something I should really already have achieved, but needs doing, and that is the main thing. So I'm going to go and get some stock fencing now. Morning, girls. Jackie's bringing the mower up to move your fence, I think. Get them on some fresh ground so they can start foraging again for some new grubs. So this is typically how my days go. So I've come up here to get some stock fencing, and the stock fencing on the floor there is right next to my beehives, which has then reminded me of other stuff that I really need to do, you know, desperately. So these guys have outgrown or are too big for that nuke. You can see they're hanging off the bottom of it still, and they are full in there, so I desperately need to exchange that for a full-size hive like that over there. That fits 5 frames in, and that fits 10 or 11. So I think I'm going to add that to my list of jobs to do, although I might do that last thing today. Hopefully everyone will have calmed down a little bit, and I will definitely bring my smoker. It's really heavy, stock fencing. It's surprisingly heavy. I suspect this is 30 kilograms, maybe a touch more, because it's a little bit awkward and it's not very comfortable. And I think this is exactly why I ended up using chicken fencing. I was just typically trying to cut corners and make it an easier job than it was. And it's paid me back by telling me I'm an idiot. C'est la vie. Yeah, you've done this, haven't you? Thank you ever so much. Choose a side, rhubarb, in or out? In or out? You want to live in there, do you? You want to live in there forever? Come on. Yes. Not the most nimble, are you? Thank you. Done, really good job done. Cool, happy with that. Started raining halfway through, had a little shower, but look, that's 1, 2, 3, all done. Haha, I'm really happy with that. Yeah, now we're seeing progress. This is what progress looks like. Had an idea as well while I was out here. This little table, well, I'll call it a table, this drum. It's gonna make a really good beehive stand. I use it for butchering chickens on sometimes, as you can see, because the scraps go just over there. But I think I might roll it up into the wood and use it as a stand for my new beehive that I'm going to be setting up. Thought of another job I need to add to my list. So we've got putting in a new beehive. That's definitely got to go on the list. The other one is I've got to go to the bakery actually and collect some bread. So I'm going to put these tools away. Hopefully now we're going to be doing ice cream next, my wife and I. It's quite a long process, so we need to start it this morning, and then well, we'll see where we are, see what the next job is. got to just put these tools away and then put that roll of fencing away. You can see behind me on the grass there, look at all this lovely grass my wife's cut. It's such a waste having all this grass, but there's nothing we can do about it because we rent. We do use all this stuff out here, we run our chickens on, but we can't do much else with it because we can't damage any of these trees. The lime trees, as you've seen, I'm protecting with those tree guards, although, you know, they have taken some damage, but they will be fine. But the hornbeams we can't afford to take risks with. It would be, yeah, you know, far too big a problem if they died. Whereas the limes I can replace. So my wife's just about to make breakfast bars, which we do basically, well, I say we, my wife does, basically with just rolled oats and maple syrup. Is that right, love? And it's really simple, and I'm sure one day I will learn the recipe so I can share it with you guys. But so much cheaper and just as lovely as those breakfast bars you buy in the supermarket that are like 20 times the price. So I've got time now while my wife's doing that to go to the bakery and collect some bread for the animals. But I'm just going to add the beehive onto my list. I'm not going to bother adding the bakery because I'm going to be there and back straight away. So we've added beehive, and we can put a tick next to the top two. Herb spiral and tree guards. What I might do, I might make a round trip and pick up the goat food as well while I'm out at the bakery. Well, there's something you don't see every day. Let me help you. Tear and share, yeah? Okay, you have to figure the rest out on your own. And now, I think it has to be ice cream time, albeit with a really short break for some crackers first. I'm absolutely famished, so I'm going to have some crackers with goat's cheese and some chutney. Oh, it's one of my favourites, and haven't had it in a little while. So, yeah, fresh goat's cheese from this year, crackers from yesterday, chutney from last year, and leftover salad from last night's tea. Right, so now we're going to make ice cream. I have to say, our lunch was delicious. Like I said, I've not used this ice cream maker before. My wife has last year. This isn't going to be an ice cream making recipe video. This is just what I'm doing at the moment. This is just part of today's vlog. But at some point, I will sort of well, whether or not I'll ever master it, there's so much I don't master, I just learn enough to get by. But as soon as I've learned enough to get by where I can start improvising and making my own ice cream, then I'll do a proper ice cream video. But yeah, so referring back to the last vlog I did, you know, we've used those little really cheap ice cream makers before, where it's basically just like a bowl of ice. And that's the whole process, is just it turns the milk within that ice to reduce the temperature. They kind of work, and if that's all you can afford, then you know you can make ice cream with them, but it took me a load of tinkering and messing about to get ice cream from it, didn't it, love? Whereas this one is so much simpler. So I'm just going to learn now from Jackie, and then hopefully I'll be able to start making it, because my wife doesn't always have the time, and we're producing quite a lot of milk at the moment, and I need to stock up on ice cream. Do we know what temperature? Does it matter? Okay, so far really simple. Just got some sugar in our milk here. We're just heating it up slightly just to dissolve everything. Tiny bit of salt. That's about it so far, love, is it? What's that? Ooh. And how much vanilla? Yum. Eggs. Eggs too. So milk, sugar, tiny bit of salt. Then we've had some vanilla. How much milk did we start with, love? 1 quart, which we had to translate into millilitres because we're British. So it's about a litre, yeah? A cup of sugar. In this one we've used golden caster sugar because it's what we had. Then after that we have put in some vanilla, and that was, did you say 4 or 5 teaspoons? 4 teaspoons. It says 1 lemon's worth of lemon juice. We've just put a big squirt from our bottle. Next up is eggs. I had no idea we were going to be putting eggs in here. And how many eggs are there?
4 yolks.
4 egg yolks is next, but they've got to be tempered, brought up to the same temperature as the milk. I hope you're proud of yourself. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Conker is an idiot. My wife just wanted to say that, you know, she's not 100% sure that this is exactly the right way of doing it, but this is how we've done it. This is how she made it all last year, and it was delicious, so it's how we do it.
Keep stirring.
Now we just sieve it. Sieve it back into the milk jug that we started with. Yeah. So any little bits of egglet that didn't quite work out and got a bit cooked and turned into scrambled egg, we've got rid of them now in the sieve. Perfect. Next job is happening off camera. We have to be quick. So the next job is basically to put it in the fridge or freezer, and it's going to depend on how busy you are, however you are to keep an eye on it. But all we're trying to do right now is reduce the temperature of it, because the cooler it is when we put it in the ice cream maker, the quicker it will be done, basically. Is that right, love? Am I saying all that correctly? So apparently our ice cream maker, the program on it is an hour-long program, and that works fine so long as the liquid we put in is almost freezing. Then it works perfectly in an hour. So there you go, that's the plan. So we don't do anything now for a little minute. We just let that sit, cooling down, and I think I'm going to check out my list. So what's next? I think I'm going to go and do my planting. Or am I going to go and do my beehives? I'm going to go and do the beehives because I think that's more important. Of all the jobs that I've got on my list today, that's the one that's really quite critical to get done. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to have a quick coffee first, then I'm going to suit up, smoke up. I'm not going to forget my smoker. And we're going to go and manhandle some bees in the nicest possible way.
Wherever Jackie goes, the Pekins follow right behind her.
So next stop, I'm going to pick up my beehives, my spare beehives. I'm going to roll that reel, that big wooden reel that I mentioned earlier, up into the wood, into my apiary, and going to set up probably, not sure, either 1 or 2 new beehives there. Certainly 1, which I'm going to move the bees from that nuke, the swarm that we caught, into, and if it's convenient, I'll have a look through because I might be missing a floor or 2. But if it's convenient, I might move a second beehive as well and set that up, just so that I'm ready then with a spare beehive and obviously my nuke for swarm catching, which I'm really excited about. Having never been near a swarm of bees, just 3 weeks ago, you know, I'm now a swarm catcher. So this is all my stack of stuff that we're going to use to make our new beehives. I'm just going to work out what I've got, what I need, and get loaded up. Looks like I need to make a floor, something I don't have. So I'm quite confident I can make a floor, I just don't know how. So I'm going to Google that now. So I didn't actually find anything particularly helpful on Google, but I didn't spend very long on it either. I think I know what I'm going to do. So, I mean, basically, if you imagine, this isn't a brood box, but if you imagine this was the bottom of the hive, we basically just need a solid floor under here that's raised up a little bit with a gap in for a way in. So, you know, it seems pretty simple to me. I've got this ply lying around here. So, and I've just grabbed another piece from up in the garden, and luckily I've got a car full of tools, so I reckon I've got everything I need. There are times when it can be a real pain carrying a workshop around with you all the time in the back of your car, because you could do a space for something else. For instance, when I'm collecting the bins of pig food. And then there's other times, like today, when it's just incredibly useful to have a mobile workshop everywhere you go. So that I could build these two floors. So you can see they're really simple. Just the floor goes like that, keeps the hive in and the outside out, and just a little door there, and the rest of the hive sits on top. Couldn't be simpler. Or at least I think it couldn't be simpler. If you're a beekeeper and I'm doing it wrong, do let me know. I'm not shy. So my next stop is to take all this up to the bees and have it in place. I'll also move that big cable reel, that big wooden cable reel. Get that all up there, go back to the house. I can hear you, Sydney. You have to be patient, mate. Get back to the house, fire up my smoker, get up there. It's drizzling. It's not raining, it's drizzling. And if my bees were a bit more exposed, I might wait, but they're underneath trees. I don't think it's going to feel like it's raining under there. We'll see. Time to go and get my smoker. I'm not going in without smoke today. I learnt my lesson on that one. So much calmer with the smoke.
So I've just come back in from doing the bees and I'm a little bit annoyed, I have to say, because I dropped my phone during the whole process and my microphone broke. I'll show you. It connects directly into my iPhone, which I use for filming. And this is the microphone, a Rode something or other. So it's not like incredibly expensive, but it's not cheap either. And it connects directly through into the lightning adapter on the iPhone. Look, and it's just snapped off. Which, as well as, you know, killing the microphone, it also ruined that last bit of filming I did. So that's why when I put this together, there's quite a few bits missing from the bee suit stuff. Everything I was doing wearing the bee suit, a lot of it, the audio is corrupted. And it's just, oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Of all the things I do, I think it's the thing that frustrates me the most when there's technical issues or audio issues or microphone breakages. It's the second time. Anyway, so that's that. Let's quickly check on the list, and then I think I'm going to wrap this video up because we've done the herb spiral, tree guards, goat food done, ice cream is underway, 2 podcasts. Well, the first one is booked for an hour, so I'm going to be starting that at 5, and in the meantime I need to milk the goats. So those 2 are the next 2 things I'm doing. And then we've done the beehives. All that's left is a bit of planting out and sowing. So I'm going to sign off now in the knowledge, you guys can be safe in the knowledge that I'm going to go and milk my goats and then record those 2 podcasts, which means the only thing left on that list is to do a bit of planting out and a bit of sowing, which hopefully I will get round to after, we'll see. But we've hit off all the vital things on my list and ended with a bit of a flat note with the microphone, but I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back tomorrow, don't worry about that. And please make sure you press that like button, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and leave me a comment down below. Speak to you guys really soon. Cheers.